Hi, this is Zam here with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Monday, the 29th of July. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which has actually surprised us, or at least surprised me, in the sense that we finally had that break of RSI 55 on Friday, and that was the trigger for a break also of that May resistance line there. 82.80 above that, we've been looking for the June spike, 83.71, which obviously should be on its way pretty soon, and then ultimately as high as 87.50. I suppose the quickest we could get that would be by the end of next month. Seems unbelievable, but maybe the prospect of Labour actually cutting public spending could do the trick for the London market, amongst other factors. On the downside, the worst hopefully now is the floor of that rising trend channel from October, 81.90, and ideally we don't go back below 82.60 on an end-of-day close basis ahead of further gains. On to the DAX, and here you can see that still trying to get back into that channel. Obviously, channels do have a rather an area which is uncertain near the top and the bottom, but whatever the situation is here, the main area that we've been looking at is around 18,300. Looking for the market to break 18,800 in that May resistance line, and then head higher within that channel from back in September. Probably the right place for that is towards 20,000, looking for that by the end of next month while we remain above 18,000. RSI just on the right side of neutral 50, but we are basically in a range. Next up is the Dow, and here, as we saw yesterday, we've had a bounce, bear trap rebound from below previous resistance, so basically from below 40,000, and above that looking for the market to head to the top of that channel as high as 42,100 by the end of next month. Worst case at the moment is the floor of the channel, 39,400. Bitcoin is next, and I suppose positive noises from President or former President Trump, in the sense that if he gets elected, which seems rather unlikely, he will set up a US cryptocurrency fund or Bitcoin reserve. And here the target, at least in the near term, is the March resistance line there, 71,000, and then looking for up to the top of that rising trend channel at 90,000 over the next 1 to 2 months. So it's positive in the sense that we gapped higher last week and we've held the top of the gap just about, and also the RSI is towards overbought, but no, not overbought yet, even though we've rallied from 53,000. Worst case here is that we have to test the 50-day line again at 63,000, or I suppose ideally no lower than the gap top there, 66,500. On to gold, and here it's been a case of finding support above the 50-day line, which is rising. We've done that twice in the recent past, and above the floor of that rising trend channel from December. Looking for this market to hit 2,600 as soon as the end of next month, backed by 2 bounces for the RSI at neutral 50. Moving on to the stocks, and quite exciting in the sense that starting off with Capex here, we bounced basically where we wanted to bounce, but it's a mini bear trap gap reversal, so the low there back around 0.33 mid-month, so we went below that to 0.3 and then we gapped up today. That suggests that 0.48 is the minimum on the upside here, and we're looking for up to 0.77, the upper parallel of the second target there, as soon as the end of next month. So high hopes there, and even higher given the fact that the overall pattern here is a bear trap iron reversal, gapping down in March, gapping up in July, now twice. So this looks as though it is very much in play. Eco Atlantic is next, and here a rather messier chart, but we found support above the rising 50-day line. Back on Friday, gapped up here, bear trap gap reversal from below the 11.3 pence level, and above that looking for 16 or 17 pence by the end of next month. If you're cautious, wait for an end of day close through the 50-day line, but looks like we've got enough evidence of a rebound there. Great Western Mining is next, and here looks as though the shares trying to get their act together. We've got a V-shaped bull flag, as I call it, above, bounce off a rising 50-day line, so that should hopefully be money in the bank for the bulls. End of day close today above the 50-day line, 0.046, 46 in fact, and we should get up to retesting January resistance by the end of next month. So quite confident on that one, even though it's a notoriously messy stock. Moving on to Mkango, and here we had a suspicion that the shares were going to bounce off the floor, well, off that support line projection there around 4 pence, 4.2 pence. That's happened, obviously, with today's news. We've hit the target there as well already, 7.2 pence, and above that, basically looking for the 13 pence area from back in December. I suppose you could say there was a line at the top of the triangle there from back in January, but really looking for 13 pence while we're above the 50-day line at 6 pence. Next up is the star of the show in terms of the small caps on the stock market, just Relentless in terms of the recovery we've seen here, or the rally we've seen here. I was looking for a golden cross at Pennpetro over the next week. It looks like we might actually get that by tomorrow. We're following through today on the gap higher that we had on Friday. We'd like to see an end of day close above Friday's peak at 10.65, but whatever the case is there in terms of the near term, if you look back at the chart, basically there's nothing between 10 and 15 pence, because we fell previously from 15 down to 10. I'm looking for a mirror image of that. So basically above 10, 15 should be relatively easy. If we have to retrace, then a place for people who missed out on the move would be the gap area around 7 pence Thursday, Friday. So that would be potential pullback level. We can see that previous target 9 pence, so ideally we stay above that ahead of a move to 15 pence. On to Panthera, which is finally breaking out, and obviously we all know what the potential upside could be here, or well, clearly quite a lot. We got top of the rising trend channel there from last summer. That's heading for up to 12 pence. We're looking for that hopefully by the end of next month now, while we remain above recent for 7.4 pence resistance. So not a bad risk reward situation there. And obviously, if there is some positive news, the shares could go much, much higher than 12 pence. Onto a stock that I don't cover very much, and nobody else does either. Cortex, but gap through the recent resistance area, post-March resistance at 175. And looking for the shares to basically be bullish while they're above the top of today's gap at £1.67, looking for £2.10 by the end of the next month. The overall pattern here of a situation where we've broken the 200-day line, and we're about a day or two away from a golden cross between the 50 and 200-day moving averages. But the key here is staying above the floor of the gap, 167. On to the last two. First one is UK oil and gas, which at one point I was hoping I would never look at it again, but clearly the situation has changed. We hit the top of the broadening triangle that we were looking for there at 0.046. End of day close above that. We've got a fresh level to the upside for people who are really keen about the stock, and that would be 0.097. Basically a resistance line projection from back in March. But you can see that at least initially we've delivered the goods. Maybe an overshoot to the old April resistance at 0.067, but at the moment we are happy where we are, and ideally the shares remain above the old resistance there at 0.037 ahead of any potential further moves. And obviously we're always wary of potential fundraisers on that stock. Finishing off with Upland, which is just about clinging on to a potential rebound scenario. We've got a support line projection there from back in August last year. Don't really want to see the shares stay on the wrong side of a penny for too long. On the way up, the shares had a resistance around the 0.83 pence level, and then below that around 0.5. But ideally, there is no sustained price action here now, but between or below a penny over the near term. Initial resistance here now are really at the 1.5 pence level. And as I said, the main point here, I suppose, is that 1 pence holds, and there's a rebound for the RSI currently in oversold territory. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.